Yeah, I'm gonna come right back. Come right back. Dose y'all up some more. Cause y'all need some dosing, obviously. I ain't even hit y'all with the meat yet because that's just a little bit too much for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't realize that meat isn't a food. Meat is actually a drug. You know what I'm saying? And when I say meat's a drug, I mean meat's a stimulant. By eating meat and digesting meat, the byproduct breakdown of that is nitrogen, which gives you it gives you a high. You're not. I don't even want to say you're not aware of. You're aware of, but it's very, very subtle, and you don't know it's there, and you don't know it's something inside of you that makes you crave this meat. You know what I'm saying? And what you don't know is this meat is here and given to you by your oppressor to eat so that you can remain under control. Now, when I say that is, I say it like this. I noticed that when I became vegan, that a lot of my fears of just random little things just went away. And I mean, it went away to the point where I started worrying about myself, because I started to just go into certain situations and then I'd get into them and I'd be like, yo, you were supposed to be scared before this happened. That should have scared you. That should have did something. And those things don't scare you anymore. It's like there's a serious overstanding that comes over you that makes it so that just doesn't happen to you. You don't feel that. You know what I'm saying? So, and in all honesty, in retrospect, whatever the fuck that means, but it sounds really good right now in this conversation. That's pretty much why it is I'm actually even able to actually bring you this message right now. You know, if you're not, comfortable and secure with yourself, there's no way you're going to put yourself out there for a whole bunch of people to be, you know what I mean, all up in your joint. If you got to be intellectually on point if you want to, try and put somebody else on point, like I was saying. But back to the meat. When it comes down to it, you're eating the fear and the anxiety of the animal. Now, let me break it down to you like this. If the chicken is sitting there and the cow is sitting there and they're watching their homeboys get their necks slit and get bled out right in front of them, it's the same thing like you watching one of your boys get murdered in front of you in a line. What are you going to do? You're going to fill up with fear. You're going to fill up with anxiety. You're going to want to run. You're going to want to go somewhere, but you can't go nowhere. Like the cows, they can't go nowhere. The pigs, they can't go nowhere. All of them, they just got to sit there and they got to suffer and watch their boys die and twitch and blood. I mean, y'all already seen that. Y'all see that goddamn transformer machine flip that cow? Dude just slit. And all this craziness is going on. Now, when all this stuff is going on, what happens is the next cow and all the cows subsequently that keep coming up behind them, they get filled with fear, they get filled with like anxiety and stuff like that, and you eat that. That's what you take on. Like when that goes onto your plate and you take that in, you're taking on that fear, that anxiety, that pressure, that the maiming, the misery. You're taking all of that on because you don't understand that when they say you are what you eat, it's on another level. Like you are literally absorbing this thing. What do you think your body is doing with it? What do you think your body is actually assimilating this into? What do you think your body is turning the meat into? What do you think is happening to it? I mean, you got to think about that for a second. You're taking on the fear, anxiety, and depression of the animal. Whatever misery that went through, that's what you're taking on. And when you go, I don't know if he's right. I don't really think about that. Let me try and correlate that for you with something else. Jews, what they do with their animal is this. They'll take the animal will be out grazing, the animal won't have a clue it's going to get killed, then they'll come up behind it with that little boop thing, and they'll just, boop! It just drops. There's no high cortisol levels, there's no stress, and no anxiety, there's no depression. The animal was just out in the field, was just sitting there, didn't know that. and it just drops and it's done. Now that right there, what happens is, instead of the other meat, where as soon as the animal got into fear, all the blood with the fear and anxiety got pumped into the muscle for the fight and flight reaction. That's where all the blood went, right into the muscle. What do you eat? That's the muscle. You eat the muscle of the animal. But what you don't realize is no other animal eats that part of the animal. If you look at the tigers and the lions, when they eat an animal, they eat the part of the animal that's the guts. They eat the guts, they eat the organs and everything. You can see 8, 9 lions. You can turn on Discovery Channel right now and watch something. You'll just notice they're all in the gut area. They're eating the inside of the animal's guts and the vital organs and minerals that's there. Why? Because this animal ate plants and grass. They're not going to eat something that ate something dead because there's no nutrients there. They got to eat something that ate from the earth. So it's a transfer from the earth energy to the earth antelope into the lion. It's taking on the minerals from that. That's what it's doing. But it's not eating the muscle of the animal because that's filled with fear and anxiety because that antelope had to run. It was scared. It was running out of there. So it's not going to eat that. Meat is just, that meat's poison. It's poison. So you're eating poisoned meat. That's why you're scared. That's why you're afraid. That's why you don't know what to do. That's why you got that lump in your chest. You're not thinking clearly. You are what you eat. So basically, y'all gotta wake up. You know, y'all heard what I said. And if you really didn't catch it all, you know, just rewind the video because it makes sense. Stop dosing.